What's going on, guys? So in this video, this is going to be the first one of the series of roasting home service websites. And I'm going to be going over what to change, what can be improved to get better, obviously the SEO and also the conversions. That way the business can get more customers in. So I'm going to go over every single little detail, everything that I would change from the copy to the design and everything. That way, you can see the mistakes that can be implemented on your website, and learn from it. So let's get started. First thing, I see that they don't have a base container. So what I mean by that is if we go to the Stripe website, you can see that they have a base container on the website. So from here on the left to the right, you can see even a line here. This is like the base container, and all the content is inside of this container. So if you go to this website, you can see the navbar is from left to right. Obviously, I'm in a wide monitor, but the navbar is from the left to right. Then we have this container that's a little bit on the left, and then we have all this content that's centered, So for your website, you want all your content to be inside of one container that's consistent across the website. So in this case, this hero section, which is the most important one, is on the left, and then we have the navbar that's all the way from the right to the left. So you just want to make sure to have the navbar and all the content, inside of one container, like on the Stripe website. Obviously, this is a big company, but it has the same idea, from left to right. They have all the content bunched together. And that's what you want to have for your website in order for it to look professional on all screens. So that's the first thing. Now on the navbar, I see they have a ton of things, and typically you want to keep your navbar simple and consistent, because if the navbar has too many things, users get overwhelmed and they're not going to be able to navigate the website effectively. So you want to make sure to have only the most important items on the navbar. That's what the footer's for. If you have a ton of items, you can always leave them in the footer, So on this particular website, I mean, it's fine. Typically, you don't want to have the home link on the navbar, because most people understand that when you click the logo, it takes you to the homepage nowadays. So you don't really need that. And then for the services, you can just have a drop down with the services. You don't need to divide it the residential, commercial. You can just have a one drop down, for all the services, and that's gonna help you simplify, So on this navbar in particular, I would use the layout where you have the logo on the left and then all the items for the navbar on the right. Typically how it has Stripe here. So you can see they have the logo and then the items, the navigation items, and then the call to action. So that's a layout I would use for this website, because right now, you have the navigation items, which should be centered, but they're on the right, and then you have the call to action on the top, and it's just a mess, So that's how I would clean it up personally. Then if we take a look at the title for the SEO, you can see they don't even have a meta description. This is something you want to have, to improve click-through rates on the search results, because if you don't have it, then Google's going to automatically decide what to put there. And so you want to make sure to have this optimized for SEO, as well as the title. The title is super key. You want to make sure that you have your business name, the service you're providing, and the location on the title right up there, because if you don't have it, then, you're not going to be ranking as well as your competitors. Now, on the hero section, if we take a look at it, you can see that they have learn more. Something key with the call to actions is you want to make sure that it's clear to know for the user to see what it's going to do, So for example, if you have a call to action, you don't want to say learn more, because learn more, it could mean anything, So you want to have something clear, like free estimate, free quote, call now. And, that way the user doesn't have to think about it, because learn more is actually, you don't want to use it because it's too broad. It could be anything, like what am I going to learn? So this is super key, to keep your CTAs or call to actions clearly and consistent across your website. Then we move on to the H1, which something like this image, it just worsens the design as a whole, because it doesn't make sense for an image to be here. I believe must be like a certification. You want to have certifications like at the bottom, like here you could put it, or move this logo cloud to the top, right below the hero section. But you don't just want to have it not right next to the H1, because this hero section right here is the most important asset on your website, especially on the homepage. So here we are the only certified professional roofing contractors in Tampa Bay. That's good, that's good, because it shows credibility and everything. You could add another sub copy below the H1. So that would help you massively to kind of explain, more of it, because right now you just have the H1 and you don't have any sub copy right now. So just to kind of give you an example with Stripe, you see they have the big H1 and then they have some sub copy on right below it. So that's what you want to have for your home service business as well. And then on the service cards, if we take a look at them, you can see there's some design issues where you have the call to actions, the buttons on the website are rounded, but then we have these cards which are now rounded, which are like squares, So a design that you want to have is, if you have rounded corners, then you want to have them rounded across your entire website, So for this particular case, they're just square. It just makes the design consistent, and that's something that makes you look more professional. Also, the padding issues, you can see we have padding on the left and not padding on the right. So there's no space, so this looks like it's crammed. Same thing for here, it's not like really centered. So there's definitely a lot of room for improvement here. Also adding an H2 on the title at the top to say what this is, would also be helpful. But that's on that, And then we have this section. This section is fine, but on the design, like this button has rounded corners. You also want to make sure that this is also, consistent, because this is a little bit rounded, but not as rounded as here. So, so same thing with this. This is fine, as long as it's the same across the website. And then on this section, I would just move it to the top, because right from the get-go, you want the user to see the social proof, to see that you're certified, that you have, that you know what you're doing, that you know the service you're providing and everything. So that's, I would move this section to the top. And then something I see missing here is the Google reviews. So if you have a Google business profile, what you can do is just pull up your reviews live from the Google business profile to your website if you're using WordPress, which I believe this website is. So that's some of the keys, that things that I would change on this website, everything from design to everything. So let me know if you guys got value out of this video. Obviously, I could continue going on to the other pages, but I don't want to make this too long. So if you got value out of this video, make sure to like, retweet, and comment. If I see enough engagement on this one, I'm going to continue the series, building on top of it. If you want me to roast your website, leave it in the comments, and I will make sure to do the next one on your website. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.